All right, let's go. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel, Football Therapy, with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate. I really do genuinely, wholeheartedly and authentically hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea news. And there is news in the world of the Blues. I'll reference One Football, who's of course my sponsor. They're referencing, or they are citing different publications talking about how Milan want Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which would probably help us. Also, we are looking at a chap called Manuel Ugarte, or Ugarte, the Sporting Lisbon young central midfielder. Of course, in a time where perhaps Declan Rice is unobtainable money-wise, and also maybe luring him to the bridge, despite how much I and many want him. Chelsea are considering alternatives. We'll look at his stats as well. That would be fun. We'll talk a little bit about TalkSport's column or news, talk about Mason Mount and how Raheem Sterling wants to be a big part of the rebuild. Many people want him gone and aren't happy with him at Chelsea, so that will be really interesting. There is a professional in there, and there's a player there, of course. Thanks for joining me. It's going to be fun. I'm rubbing my hands together in anticipation for me learning something today. And hopefully you will too. So thanks for liking, subscribing. And should you choose to subscribe, hitting the bell notifications icon. It is important. Alrighty then. Let's start with TalkSport. Talking about the Chelsea. So of course, we've seen it, you've probably read it. Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid. I hate it, you hate it. They've replaced Kroos, Casemiro, Modric with Tchouaméni, Camavinga and Bellingham, which is just incroyable. What a midfield three that is for the future. Just incredible. I hate them. So he's probably going there, and then everyone's pranging out about midfielders. So, after being priced out of the race for Bellingham, Liverpool have now made Chelsea contract rebel Mason Mount their top target. He's a contract rebel. Chelsea are still hopeful of agreeing Mount to stay, but at the moment there's no significant breakthrough in negotiations over a new deal. Look, it's not just Liverpool that want Mount. Top teams want him. He's a top player. I believe Tifo IRL uploaded the video of Carl Anka just this morning talking about why everyone loves Mason Mount, or why football coaches and football players love Mason Mount. And they did a video on him not too long ago. Like he's an incredible player. He's the most overhated player I think in the world from the Chelsea fans. So peculiar. He's just an incredible footballer. Anyway, so I would like him to stay, but of course there is that element of Chelsea getting free money of the books for their financial fair play concerns. And of course that goes with the Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which of course we'll mention in just a moment, alongside other things and stuff. The Blues are one of a number of clubs tracking Southampton's teenage sensation Romeo Lavia, who is set to become one of the most sought-after players this summer. Lavia's old club, Manchester City, have a buyback clause option on the £50 million rated midfielder, but that does not kick in till the end of next season. So hold on. That doesn't kick in till next season. So what happens if are they allowed to sell him this season? I guess they are. So if they sell him next summer for 60 million or whatever, then Man City can't use their buyback. It's like we've got a buyback on Tammy Abraham at Roma, which kicks in, I believe, this summer, which couldn't be used last summer. But could Roma, could they have sold him last summer to someone else and you just miss out with your buyback option? I guess so, right? Look, Romeo Lavia, he went from Man City's academy to Southampton. Our boy Joe Shields, I believe he's the Southampton one in our recruitment think tank. Of course, we have so many people now. I think he's, one that brought Lavia to Southampton, and he's probably saying to Chelsea in the hierarchy, look, this guy's mustard, get him to Chelsea. He'll cost a lot of money. Of course, Southampton will make a lot of money on it because of Shields and other people who brought him there. So that is what it'll be good for them. Also, are Man City going to start him? Is he? Because if you're a midfielder, do you just look at Calvin Phillips? Remember Calvin Phillips? He cost 50 million quid. going to Manchester City. Do you remember him? No, he is a footballer and he exists. He played for England at one point. Yeah. Sure, he gets loads of money, but Lavia's got to be looking at that thinking, no, thank you. With City also likely to miss out on Bellingham, they could also try and re-sign the Belgium international in a year early. Oh, a year early. So without their buyback clause. Okay, cool. So there you go. So they can just, so they'll have to pay probably over 50 million for a guy to let go. This is Chelsea settings. You let a talented youngster go and you buy him back for like mental money. Well, should we do that with Rice? Arsenal are also looking to bolster their midfield this summer and expected they'll revisit their interest in Brighton's Moises Caicedo as well as West Ham captain Declan Rice. With Rice also on the shortlist of United and Chelsea, the Hammers are hoping they can spark a bidding war to raise the price tag for more than 120 million. Now, look, I don't think anyone's paying more than 100. I think everyone will expect to pay less than 100 million for Rice. He'll have 2 years left on his deal? Or is it 1? Yeah, surely they can't flog him for that much with 1. Surely not. Still, regardless, he's not going to re-sign. They know he's not. Each year he's going to cost less. If someone gives, in my opinion, West Ham £80 million for Declan Rice, they should just rip their hands off and be like, this is a long time coming. Thanks for your service, captain, skipper. See you later. I don't know, we'll have to see. Again, I'd love him, but would he love to come to Chelsea? No Champions League football. Generally a rebuilding mess. You know, Arsenal are a team, they're cooked, they're nearly cooked, they're good to go. As in, not as in cooked as in finished, as in like baked, you know? And not as in like smoking the jazz cigarettes either. All right, let's move on to the next part of this Talksport article. Sterling stays. Look, right. Okay, let's read this and I'm going to give you my thoughts. Raheem Sterling remains committed to Chelsea despite being in a turbulent first season at Stamford Bridge. Pause. I tell you why he's committed to Chelsea, because he got to move back to London, which he's been wanting to do for years after Liverpool and Manchester. Can't blame him personally, no offence. And now he's getting paid $325k a week on a long-term deal. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why Raheem Sterling is committed to Chelsea. Reality. The Blues are planning a big summer clear out of their bloated squad once the new manager, set to be Mauricio Pochettino, is in place. Which, by the way, should happen really now. I'm going to react to it, and should it happen today, this video will probably become redundant, which will hurt my feelings. But the Talksport understands the England winger, Sterling, is keen to play a big part in the rebuild. Sterling only moved to Chelsea, of course, last summer, and he scored 4 goals in 22 appearances. Well, nothing shocks me anymore. The 28-year-old is said to be excited about Pochettino's arrival. Well, can't really blame him with that. Look, man, Sterling is a consistent top-level player. Apart from this season. There was talks when he had that amazing season when at City, and people were talking. I didn't dream this. This happened. He was really, really on flames at one season at City, and someone said and he's obviously a few years younger, like mid-20s, and someone was interviewing Pepperbam. I can't remember it in like a movie theatre or something, but maybe it was a dream then. No, he's sitting on a chair saying, "Can Sterling like reach Messi levels?" They asked him that, bro. I mean, we all know that Pep loves Messi over everything, so he's not going to say that. But the fact how he didn't balk at the question, because Sterling looked like he was just scoring every kind of goal. He was running really hot. He doesn't get injured often. He's always really in great shape. He's good at tactical instructions. He's a professional. He's a family man. Apparently he's quite a leader for England. It's a good guy to have in your team and squad, you know. He can be really good, top level for another 3 years at least. It just needs to play well, and he needs to be in a team that's playing well, which of course we can't offer any of that at the moment. Let me know what you think about Sterling. I know loads of people aren't excited about it at the moment, but you know, comment down below. Now, this next article is off my partner One Football. This is not a sponsored video, but a lot of my recent videos are. Go click on them and click on my affiliate link to check out One Football. So they are talking about Milan, of course. got touched up last night against Inter in the Champions League in the derby in the semi-final, which, by the way, they should have lost by more, you know. That opening, they got that penalty overturned, which I was a bit so about, which would have put them 3-0 down really early. They could have even collapsed even more after that. Also, Lukaku came on later on. But great goal from Dzeko. And Mkhitaryan, you know, the old guard from the Prem stepping up. You know, that was vintage Dzeko. But Lukaku came on for Dzeko later on. Looked pretty good. He looks confident. Like how he was running with the ball, holding up, making the right decisions, doing the right thing. I don't know. Don't know about Lukaku. I'm undecided. So let's read what One Football is saying. Milan hope to convince Chelsea midfielder Ruben Loftus-Cheek to join them in the summer, reports the Evening Standard. Pause. You know who could help convince him? Fikayo Tomori. And even Olivier Giroud. I mean, he'll be friends with Giroud still, but he's got to be homies with Tomori. Surely, Cobham graduates together. However, the England international will have to take a pay cut to leave Stamford Bridge. He's currently on £150,000 a week at Chelsea. Yeah, he re-signed under Frank Lampard. First season, I believe. He's entering the last 12 months of his deal, with Mason Mount and Conor Gallagher also facing uncertain futures. The Blues are looking for replacements. So there's the three. Mount, Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek, the free academy products. That was free money on the books that Chelsea will need to sell at least one, maybe two, to juice up their financial fair play situation. Loftus-Cheek's the most obvious. He's the oldest, and he's the oldest, and he's been useful. He's been utilised. But his glory years, apart from that one season under Sarri before he did his Achilles, when he looked like he could be something special, he's been a utility player, which has been helpful. It's been a great service. He's played good games in like wing back and, you know, sweeper and all round midfield, and, you know, of course Conte tried to play him up front. But he's been useful. But you can't pay a utility player like that high flat rate money. So unless you're like Man United, essentially. Because they just pay all their players, they pay their bench players like 200k a week. So Ruben should be interested in this. They are the current Scudetto holders. They're in a Champions League semi-final despite getting touched up. And, you know, Tomori would be like, yeah, dude, check it out. Like, it's good. And yes, he'll have to take a pay cut, but he'll sign probably a 5-year deal. He's got 12 months left in his current deal. He'll sign a 5-year deal at Milan for, you know, less, but it's probably still a smart, like, move, because they'll have bonuses and incentives, and his basic can't be that much lower. I mean, it'll be over half, right? I don't know, maybe. Still, Chelsea are looking for another midfielder. I'll be very sad, but understanding to see Loftus-Cheek go, and I'll be very interested to watch him in a different team, just to see if he can be reborn and get cooking again. So Chelsea are keeping tabs on Sporting Lisbon midfielder Manuel Ugarte. I don't know if you see the E like that, but let's talk about that. This has come up a few times, and I didn't know what kind of midfielder he was. They're talking about replacement for those guys. They're all offensive midfielders, whereas when I looked at this guy's stats, which I'm going to show you now, ding! This looks like the CDM, or yeah, the defensive central midfielder we've been looking for, because as you can see here, his positive, most best, top percentile metrics are, well, passing, which is good, if you're a side who's got the ball, which we are, that's good. Pass completion, medium, good. Shot creating actions, defensive? I should have looked up what that means, because I thought SCA was shot creating actions, but I thought that's attacking. Maybe it means starting attacks from defense, which would be good. Tackles 1, tackles mid third, tackles attacking third, high turnovers, 99 percentile. Dribble is tackled, dribble is challenged. Oh la la, interceptions. These are all 99 percentiles. Tackles and interception 99. Ball recovery is 99. He never passes offside. His touches, loads of touches. Basically, this is a really, really good central defensive midfielder. Is this the answer, ladies and gentlemen? Is this the answer? Is this the Declan Rice alternative? Maybe. I've seen his name before. I've not watched him play football, but it's been surfacing a little bit more that Chelsea are keeping close tabs on him, and therefore it could be an option. Granted, like, he's playing in an easier league for one of the better sides, but at the same time, like, looks pretty good to me. He's 22 years old. He fits the profile of Chelsea's current build. like building model of like young players. He'd probably almost certainly sign the generic Chelsea youngster contract of, you know, what is it, like friggin' 90k a week with bonus potential. Yeah, because I can imagine he's probably on like 30k a week or something now. So that's really interesting. So yeah, West Ham United star Declan Rice, Borussia Mönchengladbach's Manu Kone, and Southampton's Romeo Lavia are also on the radar. It'd be interesting to see how much this Manuel chap would cost. The club need to make major squad changes this summer after an underwhelming campaign, to say the least. They lack the requisite quality to challenge for silverware and place in the Premier League's top 4. Chelsea risk breaking financial fair play rules after making several signings since the current owners took over. Selling the likes of Loftus-Cheek and other homegrown players would be pure profit under the new version of UEFA's financial stability rules, which Chelsea are probably ahead of. They probably knew this for a while. They'll be banking on doing that, but I guess they're clearly going to do that. The 27-year-old has played 28 games across all competitions this term, but the owners would like him to leave given his wages. He'd make a few quid as well. Like, not loads, but a few. So, it says Ugarte would be the perfect replacement, but Ugarte would be not the replacement, because we won't be a utility player that we play at wing-back sometimes. Although, maybe he would be. Who knows? This is Chelsea. Look good though, that kid. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Of course, anything and everything that comes up regarding Chelsea in the coming days and forevermore, I will react to here in Football Therapy. So make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe to this channel, and thank you for liking the video. I can't wait to read your comments, and hopefully you can teach me something. So yeah, cheers guys. See you very soon.